In the spring of 2021, Fnatic were bounced from the LEC playoffs at the hands of FC Schalke 04 after limping to a 5th place finish in the regular split. After losing Rekkles to their biggest rivals in G2, Fnatic seemed to be spiraling out of control. But this wasn't the first time G2's pocketbooks hurt Fnatic. Just 3 years prior, in 2018, they were standing tall as the West's greatest hope to finally win its first world title since 2011. After a historic run with Caps at the helm, Fnatic fans expected the team to run it back in 2019. But tragedy was on the horizon. This isn't the first time Fnatic have found themselves in a pivotal moment in the franchise's history. Icons have come and gone before, and Europe's most storied org has always stood tall. 10 years ago, in a basement in Jönköping, Sweden, Fnatic became the first ever world champions in League of Legends with a roster that included franchise icon Xpeke. He transcended the domestic scene in early 2013 at IEM Season 7 in Katowice with a play on the biggest stage that turned his name into a verb.
Now the minions are gonna take it! He's got it! I do not believe what Brogan just did! He's just on a Peke on Peke!
The 2014 season saw Fnatic lose to Alliance in the EULCS Summer Finals and then go 2-4 in groups at Worlds, ending the year on a disappointing note. At the end of that season, Xpeke left to launch his own organization, Origin. He took top laner Soaz with him, and the team's longtime jungler Cyanide retired. Fnatic looked on the brink, but thanks to a young Swedish AD carry by the name of Rekkles, the organization was able to not only rebuild, but thrive. Fnatic's 2015 roster is still widely regarded as one of the greatest lineups in European history. Huni, Reignover, Febiven, Rekkles, and Yellowstar became the first team in the region's history to notch a perfect 18-0 split in summer 2015.
And Fnatic will become the first team in LCS history to do it! The perfect split, 18-0!
The team had a collective KD of over 2.0, something no other team has been able to accomplish since, but ultimately fell short at Worlds after a resounding 3-0 loss to KOO Tigers in the semifinals. Huni and Reignover announced themselves to the world that year, and then promptly said goodbye, leaving Fnatic yet again on the brink of destruction. In 2016, Fnatic missed the World Championship entirely, and hope was fading fast despite the return of Rekkles and Yellowstar. 2017 started off well for Fnatic with the addition of homegrown jungler Broxa as well as the greatest mid laner in the region's history, Caps. Again, almost inevitably, Fnatic looked to be on the rise. The raw talent Caps displayed in 2017 didn't find its final form until the summer of 2018, culminating in him winning the MVP award. The powerhouse roster of Soaz, Bwipo, Broxa, Caps, Rekkles, and Hylissang sliced through the European circuit, cementing their return to the top of the EULCS, and looked like one of the most legitimate threats a Western region had produced in a long time. Maybe ever. Less than 2 years ago, the roster was in shambles, but now they were back. The Fnatic name brought the best talent in the region to its doorstep, and a Worlds title seemed within their grasp again. And then, it all fell apart.
Brox and Rekkles versus the world. Rekkles goes on a rampage, but Ning is still there pressuring onto the turret with the rest of IG. Rekkles is down, Brox is away. IG are on the Nexus. The LPL has never won before, but that will change today.
Mid laner Caps left after coming within 3 games of immortality, and Fnatic lost the best player they would ever see. Not only that, he was poached by Fnatic's arch rival, G2 Esports.
The defining factor of the G2 Fnatic rivalry is the fact that either G2 or Fnatic's won the European splits for the past few years. So generally speaking, the winner of the G2 Fnatic rivalry has gone on to have the best success internationally. So winning this rivalry basically sets the precedent for, well, it sets the stage for a great international performance.
Franchise icon Soaz left for Misfits in 2019, and 1 year later, young jungle prodigy Broxa joined reigning LCS champions Team Liquid. Still in 2020, a roster that included Bwipo, Selfmade, Hylissang, and, most importantly, Rekkles were determined to give it their all for Fnatic. They came within one game of what would have been a historic sweep of world favorites top esports out of the LPL. Instead, they were the ones that were reverse swept. The understandable frustration of being so close but so far internationally had taken its toll on Fnatic's roster, and the last piece finally came tumbling down. Rekkles decided to finally part ways with the org with which he'd spent his entire career, and to fans' dismay, joined G2 Esports, reuniting with his former teammate, Caps. In 2021, Fnatic's piecemeal roster has tried its best to hold the organization together, but ultimately fell short. The story of European League of Legends is the story of Fnatic, and vice versa. But for the first time, it feels like the region is deeper than ever and its story more compelling than it's ever been. And yet, Fnatic have been relegated to the role of extras in the youth revolution led by the likes of SK Gaming, Rogue, and Mad Lions. Is this the end of Fnatic as we know it? Or simply a new chapter? Thanks for watching. For more gaming-related content, subscribe to the Esports YouTube channel to stay up to date.